Well, hello. My name is Angela Hooper-Menifield of Menifield Associates. And today's HR moment is something that has been happening probably in the workforce longer than it should, and something that needs to stop. So there are times when supervisors receive complaints about an employee, and what they hear is that an employee has done something that is deemed egregious, so something that is considered fireable. Now, I won't even get into the parts of the question as to whether or not they have fired people in the past for a similar discretion, because needless to say, if they have not, then what we would be talking about is behavior that they have not been consistent in addressing. What I'm talking about specifically is when they receive an accusation, or maybe it's you, right? Because I try to host these HR moments for supervisors because we want you to stop making mistakes, because the mistakes you make not only make you liable, but it can also make your organization liable. And so theoretically, something may have transpired within the organization. I'm sorry, I forgot to start my watch. So something may have happened in the organization, and then what you find is you have an employee that you need to discipline or whatnot. And so what the problem is then you take action. And some of us might think, well, we're supposed to take action, right? If an employee does something, we're supposed to deal with it. Yes, however, there is a proper way to deal with infractions. And so when we, as supervisors or managers, are told that we had an employee that broke a rule, had an indiscretion, and again, this even includes those things that are egregious, we are supposed to afford those employees an opportunity to give us their side of the story. So there were times, and I remember this happening actually when I was employed with the USDA, where we would have an allegation and we would, talk to people. They would bring us their concerns. They would write statements. And then I would find out that one of my supervisors had terminated the employee or sent them home without getting their statement. This is not the appropriate way to deal with things, because by law, the employee has a right to defend themselves, tell you what happened, and no investigation is deemed as complete if you have not taken statements on both sides of the issue. Part of those statements could include even finding out from the person who was accused who else they would recommend you speak to validate the story as they have told you. And so as managers, business owners, supervisors, and again, just for clarification purposes, we're talking about businesses with enough employees that they would fall under the guidelines of what the typical rules are for grievances, EEO complaints, and things like that. So if you're a small business and you have 2 or 3 employees, no, I'm not talking about you. Now, that does not mean you should not handle things properly and give people benefit of the doubt and an opportunity to express their side. But in the event you fail to do so, it does not necessarily mean you would lose a lawsuit. However, major businesses with 50 or more employees and things like that, you must adhere to the rules and regulations as outlined by our government. And therefore, if an employee is accused of something, then what you have to do is give them an opportunity to give you their say, right? You have to allow them to tell you what happened, their version of the story, as well as, again, who else can substantiate their claims. They also have a right to even be informed as to what it is they're being looked into about or investigated for. Now, it is appropriate in certain situations that you can send a person home. Now, according to whatever your rules and regulations are, again, if you're working with unions, size of company, all of these things are mitigating facts that I'm not getting to the specifics of because it varies by corporation. But what I will tell you is this: Be careful if you send somebody home without pay and if you're not sure if that's a requirement or not, right? So certain people may be sent home with pay as the investigation is going on and some without. We can talk one-on-one about your particular organization to give you the specifics as to how you should handle this. But let's be perfectly clear. In no circumstances, unless, again, danger, that it's a dangerous situation, as in you have a serious concern that by even keeping the person on the property or employed long enough to give you a statement will cause harm or put safety at risk of the organization or the employee. And then in that case, you need to send the employee a certified letter of some sort with return postage so that they can send you the information back, and tell them then to specifically write down for you their version of the stories or the facts as they best recollect them. Ideally, you want to do it before you allow the person to leave. Why? Because people talk, right? Employees will tell their friends that, hey, so-and-so said this, that, and the other. And so the person who's accused can oftentimes prepare their statement to benefit them so that when the investigation goes through, it'll appear that they weren't as wrong as maybe they were. However, that's not our concern, whether or not they falsify the statement. Any good investigator should be able to punch holes in a bad statement. But your responsibility as a supervisor is to always get all sides of the story. Do not make unilateral decisions based on one person's versions of the facts. You may find that a couple of things may happen. Number one, even if the facts are true, the fact that the person wasn't afforded an opportunity to tell their side of the story or vindicate themselves could put you in a precarious situation, which could mean that you may look up and you may either have to pay that person or you may actually be required to bring them back. Yes, that's what I said. And it has happened. And so by me talking to you about this, I'm trying to protect you and your organization. You don't want to have to bring somebody back that deserved to be terminated. So do the right thing, follow the policies and procedures. If you don't have any, get some. Put people on notice so they'll know what to expect when and if they're ever accused of something. And again, our policies should always be innocent until proven guilty, right? Because think about it. If someone were to accuse you of something, especially as a supervisor, right? We get accused of things like harassment of our employees, definitely hostile work environment and things like that. You want to be able to vindicate yourself, and if the investigation takes a period of time, to not have had severe harm to your finances because you were sent home while this was being investigated. So we want to be expedient. We want to, as they say, a fair and speedy trial. Well, we also want a fair and speedy investigation. So again, if you're not equipped to do this in your organization, don't worry. We don't expect you all to be HR specialists or HR professionals. You should outsource these types of things. And you can do this on a case-by-case basis, get some rules and regulations written up, and then have people on retainer, so to speak, just like you would an attorney, to help you in the event you needed some HR assistance. And this is some of the things that my company does, as well as a sister company of mine that I'm actually going to begin doing some work with. And so I'll leave you with this again. Get a statement from the people that are making the accusation, get it in writing, and then also get an official statement for the person that's being accused. Last but not least, I made a conscious decision today, and I have to thank my friend Cedric for this. I don't know if he's still on, but he talked the other day about when we were talking to people in our boot camp about continuing to do new things on a regular basis. And I have been toying with the possibility of doing a podcast. And today I reached out to another business partner of mine and someone that I've known for a long time, I admire and respect, who is strong in HR, but brings some strengths to the table that are unique to mine. So we complement each other well. So all I'll say is stay tuned. But I see in our very near future a platform for us to actually do an HR podcast. And for those of you who are also in that space, let's talk, because you guys may be great guests for content. So again, my name is Angela Hooper-Menifield of Menifield Associates. This has been your HR Moment for Monday, May 18th, 2020. I look forward to hearing from you in the comments. And again, do not remove people when they've been accused of things, even if you believe they are guilty, without getting a statement. Take care and have a great day. And I'll be back online in about 10 minutes with some of our boot campers from the Black Entrepreneurs Institute business page. Take care, everybody. Bye.